because things have been heating up with WWE and MLW, and I'm going to paraphrase and break it down in layman's terms. So a while ago, uh, MLW filed a lawsuit that stated that WWE had monopolized the market for the sale and licensing of media rights to pro wrestling events in the United States, as reported by Fightful. In a new statement issued by the firm that represents MLW, WWE's motion to dismiss MLW's amended suit has been denied, meaning that they can move forward with the claims. And so as a result, MLW claims that they're going to proceed with the lawsuit. So I just kind of wanted to know what your opinion on this was and how significant and important this is.
I just find it funny that it's becoming an annual thing that this company keeps getting sued. But honestly, okay, can you just like explain a little further about like the sales and licensing of the media rights? Like, what are they talking about? Like certain pay per views, certain matches, certain people. Like, what exactly are they licensing or fighting over with the licensing?
So the issue at hand, and I'm going to pull it up because I feel like it needs to be explained a little bit more thoroughly, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I'll break this down. So essentially, there was an incident a while ago where WWE, I mean that WWE had allegedly kind of interfered with the possibility of a potential media rights situation for MLW, right? There was a possibility that MLW was going to get a new deal at a specific media outlet or a specific media platform. Allegedly, WWE interfered in that, telling that said platform that if they wanted to what you call it, that if they wanted to move forward with the deal with MLW, that they can no longer do business with WWE. So that is one of the premises of this
Ooh,
lawsuit.
sorry,
Now,
guys.
as it
Step that
pertains
way.
to the language surrounding this and kind of what's going on, right? When it comes to media rights, that is kind of the bread and butter of modern media for professional wrestling. That's where the majority of the money is coming from. Like when we talk about a company being $1 billion company, one of the things that factors into that valuation of being $1 billion company is the worth of these media rights contracts that they negotiate with certain not cable providers, but certain entertainment companies like WWE, NBC Universal, WWE, and Fox, right? So media rights is kind of the bread and butter. And essentially, what this lawsuit is kind of insinuating is that WWE has, first of all, monopolized wrestling in the sense that they bought up so many wrestling companies and so many, wrestling properties, and that they kind of get in the way of other companies from kind of coming in and kind of getting their fair share and getting their own media rights deals because they've acquired so many properties on this side, but they're also kind of potentially interfering in any potential deals with certain media companies and certain wrestling promotions. Does that make sense?
No, it does make sense. It's just it doesn't shock me because it's WWE and like they're kind of viewed at being at the top of the food chain. So I don't think like they ever thought that anyone's going to actually attempt to sue them for something
Mm.
like this. I'm not really sure how big MLW is in comparison to other wrestling companies or the other major ones, but
Mm.
um yeah, I just kind of think that it's a little bit surprising, I guess, for me that they even have like the ability to sue them back for something like this. Just
Mm.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't really have like that much feedback on it.
It is okay because you know who does have feedback on it? Me.
hmm
So I'll give you a little bit of my take. I'll give you a little bit of my take on it. When it comes down to the media rights situation, when it comes down to the um, just the whole notion of monopolizing, I think that that's a very, very heavy term. And WWE, while have they have provided us with great content and great media and great wrestling over the past God knows how many years. You buy up ECW, you buy up WCW, when Vince McMahon was kind of just starting. They bought up all the local territories. Um, even now with kind of recently, they've had business dealings with Evolve, business dealings with Progress. I don't know if I don't think that they bought out Progress. I think that they bought out Evolve. But
Hmm.
when you accumulate that much IP, you can make the argument that you are now a monopoly because you've acquired things that were either once a company or were active companies prior to the acquisition. And you've kind of consolidated them. Now, in the context of American media, politics, entertainment, business, the whole idea, the whole idea of shaming a monopoly is that you eliminate the possibility of competition because of the lack of options, right? So if I'm WWE and I buy up all these companies, there's less companies competing with WWE. Therefore, there's less money going into the industry because there are less competitors. People respond better to competition than they do a singular experience, which is the reason why anytime WWE and another wrestling company go at it, it's a wrestling boom period. We look at WWE and WCW. We look at now WWE and AEW, right? They're usually when they're competing brands, we have a sense of excitement surrounding an industry because of the competition. So I think that that's just something to keep in mind. Um, if this lawsuit kind of goes through and MLW wins, I think it's a game changer. But it also just kind of depends on how much WWE has to give up. Because at this point, now WWE is owned by Endeavor. So it's like, how much is Endeavor willing to give up? And is it going to be really that much of a loss for them, considering that they're a multi-billion-dollar company and now they're kind of under a bigger parent company who has the financial fortitude to kind of sustain them even during the midst of a lawsuit that would technically break down any normal company, if that makes sense. So that's just my little take on it. But we want to know how you guys feel about this MLW WWE thing. Is WWE a monopoly? Is it not? Let us know in the comments below. And moving on to a more recent topic,